All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live. NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode action at the Auto Club Speedway for the Production Alliance Group 300. Third race of the Xfinity Series season on, again, the NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode. Coming in off a 32nd place finish at Las Vegas, 7 laps down. Definitely was not the race that we intended to have. Blew a right front tire very early on at the end of stage 1 while only running a lap down at the time, and that derailed us the rest of the way. We had over 5 seconds of damage. Under a 5-second damage clock, we could not repair it, and we were very slow the rest of the race. We could not keep up with anybody at that point. It looked like we were going to have a chance at a top 25 perhaps, which we needed to help with our incentive bonus. We went into the race and we ended up getting as high as 26th in stage 1 until we blew the right front tire, unfortunately. So we'll see if we can have a bounce back performance today. Longer racetrack, so it's going to require a little bit more straightaway speed, and we are still at an 80 overall on the engine. We did bring 80 on the aero today and a 79 on the suspension, so a little bit better than what we had earlier. Blake Barnes, Ashton G, Patrick Shadley, and Shane Pinkney, welcome to the stream. Dude, you forgot to end your stream last night. Saw a black screen. I'm serious. No, I know. I deleted it. I don't know what happened. So, I must have forgot to close out OBS last night because I ended the stream. It was a completely different stream. I don't know how it started because my laptop I thought was off. I thought the laptop was off, so that was really weird. I woke up this morning at 8 o'clock and I saw I was streaming like for 5 hours. So the laptop was closed, so you didn't see anything. That's why it was all black, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know what was going on with that. Sorry if you tuned in. I deleted the video as soon as I woke up this morning. So I didn't notice it until a little bit later because I didn't go into work. Otherwise, it would have been probably about 2 hours. But even still, I don't understand how that happened because I ended the stream last night and I thought I closed OBS. The only thing I could think of is I didn't close OBS, but why? How did it hit start streaming again? I don't know. That was really weird. That was really weird. Yeah, I definitely wasn't up that late, that's for sure. But regardless of that, we're going to leave that in the past. We're going to act like none of that ever happened because it's deleted and nothing really did happen. So, yeah, we'll leave that aside. Austin Cindric, Alex LeBay will be starting at the rear. Ryan Sieg will be on the pole for the first time this season. Had a title. Well, yeah, this one didn't make any sense either. It was a NASCAR Thunder 04 title, and I haven't played it. We've been done with that series since February, so I have no clue what happened there. Again, we'll leave that in the past. Green flag in the air. We're underway at the Auto Club Speedway for this NASCAR Xfinity Series. Ray Schneider rolling off in the 37th place starting position.
Still there.
Exactly where he qualified for the Las Vegas race yesterday as well, and already 3 wide towards the back on the initial start. Schneider stuck on the outside, turned a side draft. Jeff Green down the back straightaway, pulled him back a little bit. The bumpy Auto Club Speedway here in Fontana, California. And yeah, we'll see if we can have a much better performance here today. 150 laps, 300 miles around this 2-mile tri-oval, 35 laps in stage 1, 35 laps in stage 2, and the final stage will consist of 80 laps.
Got one outside now. Clear all around. Still there inside.
Alex LeBay drives it to the inside of Keegan Schneider. We've had 2 winners in the first 2 races of the season, with Brandon Jones winning the season opener at Daytona, then followed by Chase Briscoe getting a win yesterday at Las Vegas. He actually passed Brandon Jones right before the last caution with about 15 to go. I'm streaming earlier because of the national championship game tonight. No, I am not. I don't care for who's playing, so I really... if my Michigan Wolverines were in it, then I'd say yes. No, we are streaming a doubleheader today. So again, we have this stream, and then we'll have our Cup Series full race live stream for our custom schedule season tonight because it is Monday. So Monday and Thursdays again are the custom schedule season on NASCAR Heat 5 for the Cup Series. Anthony Alfredo is going to jump out in front into turn 3 already. 3 different leaders in this race coming to lap 3. And actually, right before Alfredo's able to lead a lap, it looks like Michael Annette's able to make the pass, and likely 3 wide for the lead. Getting into turns 3 and 4. Schneider's already losing a lot of ground off the start here. Battling a little bit of a tight race car. Did run practice and qualifying before this race today, so I'm not sure exactly why it's as tight as it is, but we'll adjust on it. We'll work on it throughout the course of the day and expect Schneider to still have long run speed. The idea is to stay on the lead lap as long as he possibly can, and he'll have a chance to get as good of a finish as possible. Half-mile larger of a racetrack than Las Vegas as well, so that might help him stay on the lead lap during the first 2 stages at least. If it does go green. Remember, we only had 4 cautions for incident last night, though they were all congested in the final 90 laps of the race. And yes, that Cup Series stream will start at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight.
That was a great lap.
Really tight in turns 1 and 2. The car was not this tight in practice. I don't know what's going on. He's having to lift quite a bit. Schneider's sake, just have to make sure we don't have more than 12 different winners. Otherwise, he's going to have to win twice this season instead of once. Especially considering the fact he's 21st in points after the first 2 races. Already outside the top 20. Is where he has to run with a win this year to make it to the playoffs if he doesn't point his way in. And the more winners we get, the less likely of a chance he's going to have of pointing his way in, knowing how poor this team's likely going to run on the intermediate racetracks in the beginning of the year. And even the short tracks, I should say every track that isn't super speedway here at the beginning of the season. Again, that sweet spot mark was about 10 races, like I said. I said 5 to 10 races we're probably going to struggle to start the year. And definitely looking like that's still up to this point. The problem is yes, we finish races, that's good. But we're not finishing well, we're not getting a good chunk of the purse money. That's going to hurt our chances as well of getting more money quicker. We do have to finish in the top 25 in the next 3 races to get our incentive bonus. I don't know how we're going to do that. We're going to find a way, and it really stinks because I do think we had a chance to finish top 25 in Vegas last night. If we didn't blow that right front tire at the end of stage 1, we did finish the race. The only drivers we were able to outlast by finishing 32nd were literally the drivers at DNF. Before the DNF during the 4 cautions, and that's why Schneider is able to finish 32nd. Yep, you're right, Michael. Welcome to the stream, by the way. 35, 35, and 80 are the 3 stages for tonight's race. Should say this evening. We're just going to get over daylight hours here, even Eastern Standard Time. So we could say this afternoon, technically. Going to ride aboard the in-car cameras. We'll alternate through the different camera angles for the first time today. Schneider's almost a half a lap off the lead. Not quite a half a lap. A little less than a half a lap off the lead. 18 seconds back. The right front tire blowing though. Again, he kept it off the wall and he ran a pretty clean race for the most part last night. A little chippy at Daytona, but he was able to walk away with a 6th place run. He's in the mix at least. Definitely going to have to find some sort of speed here in today's race, that's for sure. Look at the bumps around this racetrack. Anytime we come to here in Atlanta, cars slide around so much through the bumps, especially in the Xfinity series with a lot lower downforce. Schneider is closing in on Mike Harmon. Apron is a preferred line in turns 3 and 4. If you can just hit your apex perfectly. Parkway, welcome to the stream. Schneider's at least catching Mike Harmon right now. So close to the back bumper of Harmon off turn 2. Trying to pull out a line and get that extra source of speed. Just can't quite get the straightaway speed he needs. Harmon also running the top definitely helped him down the straightaway, that's for sure. Into turns 3 and 4. Harmon to the outside again. Schneider will make the pass for 35th. Starting to get going on this little bit longer run. Just definitely got to take care of the tires. That was something he was not able to do in stage 1 at Vegas on an abrasive racetrack on tires. This is another abrasive racetrack on tires. I'd say even more abrasive here in California versus in Vegas. The track was last repaved back in 1998. Very, very old surface. Michael Annette still in the lead. He's led every lap since lap 3 in this race. He's definitely off to a good start. And Schneider just wants to stay on the lead lap to the end of stage 1. You know he's got a chance at stage 2 as well. Likely gonna have to loosen this car up. It's just a little on the tight side right now. A little over half a lap off the race leader. And that's still got a long ways to go to catch any sort of lap traffic around this longer 2-mile racetrack. And again, even a top 25 finish would be much needed improvement after that Vegas race last night. I know it's not going to score a ton of points for him, but even just to get the incentive money for the contract for just chipping away top 25 runs is going to be huge for this team. Managing tires is going to be a big factor. Again, we already talked about the abrasive tire wear. What we haven't talked about is the tire limit. Again, the Xfinity Series and the Truck Series have tire limits for our full races. Just 4 sets of tires. Not including the set at the very start of the race that are already on the car. So 4 fresh sets. Might see some 2-tire strategy stops here today, you never know. Hooked the bottom beautifully through turns 1 and 2. By the way, he did pass Cesar Baccarello in the last lap. He'll be working on Landon Castle likely into turns 3 and 4. Trying to get that draft down the back straightaway that pulls him to the inside of the 89 of Castle, and he'll get around him easily. Caution's out for the first time today. Car in the wall off of turn 2. It looks like it's Matt Mills in the 5. So our first caution of the day is out. About halfway through stage 1, and Matt Mills will be the cause of the incident. Schneider's going to stay out. He's going to conserve his tires. We do have a couple drivers at the rear of the field that are pitting. Mike Harmon, Cesar Baccarello, Landon Castle, all going to hit pit road, but Matt Mills' day is going to come to an end. First race at the Auto Club Speedway, 1997.
All right, be smart out there. Going green.
11 people watching right now. Thanks for everybody. The green flag back in the air. Michael Annette will lead the field to the green. 18 laps to go in stage 1. Should help the stage finish for Schneider, knowing he's better on the longer runs. On the outside on the restart, not the preferred lane.
Careful, still there.
We have 3 drivers behind him though on fresher tires. So
You're all clear on the bottom there. Clear all around.
look at that, 4 wide towards the back of the pack. Tight squeeze by Baccarello. Nowhere to go for Schneider, in line behind Timmy Hill. McLaughlin's got to run to the inside. Schneider trying to block him off.
Careful, still there.
On the brakes into the back of the 68 of Brandon Brown, that really checked up the 99 of Schneider that corner. He's getting split 3 wide to the inside and the outside. There's a huge loss of momentum for the 99. He's trying to cross over McLaughlin into the corner. Contact as Beccarello knocks it into the left rear. The 99 of Schneider that time getting into turn 3. He's battling just inside the top 30 with 16 now to go in stage 1. And Matt Mills is done for the day. That is a DNF. Schneider into the back of Beccarello now. Beccarello got him the corner before. Schneider gets into his left rear. There's 3 cars up along the outside, bumper to bumper. For having some wide and crazy restarts here at the Auto Club Speedway.
Stay out the bottom.
DB Forever 85, welcome to the stream.
Stay out the bottom.
3 wide underneath Brandon Brown, Tommy Joe Martins. Schneider in the 99 is in the inside lane. Look at Brown getting that run down the straightaway after running the top side into the corner. A little side draft on the 44. Schneider drives it deep into turns 1 and 2. He'll clear Tommy Joe Martins. Martin's going to try maybe a little bit of a crossover move. Easily going to clear Brandon Brown on the top side, though. Schneider maybe trying to get a pull off David Starr now. Beat Martins to the inside line going into the corner. There are enough laps left in the stage. Is there a chance that Schneider can get stage points here as he goes for 26th on David Starr? JD Motorsports number 6 car. Have to wait and see. I mean, how crazy these restarts can be. It's definitely going to be a big factor. This is Schneider's first career ever run at the Auto Club Speedway. The Truck Series does not race here. So that alone already making it tough for this 99 team making their first trip ever to this racetrack. They're trying to hold their own. Harmon, who was one of the drivers that hit pit road under that last caution, was in 23rd. Schneider just moved past the 92 of Josh Williams. Oh, Williams drove it in deep. He almost got into the back of Schneider going into turn 3. Drove it hard on the outside lane there. Schneider just got it in the back of Joe Nemechek off turn 4. Nemechek's had a strong start to the season, a 2nd and a 4th place finish in the first 2 races of the year. That 2nd came in the season opener at Daytona and the 4th last night at Vegas. And just outside the top 20 right now. 23rd to be exact as Schneider gets around in good position.
Still there. All right, you're clear.
Andy Castle trying to make a move for position as well on Joe Graff Jr. Battle for 19th. Schneider trying to follow the line of Landon Castle to the inside. Still battling a little bit of a tight race car. Almost slid up into the side of Joe Graff Jr. Has to file himself in line off turn 2 and down the long back straightaway behind him. Just to stay in the draft, keep the straightaway speed up. Now charged to the inside. Both Landon Castle and Joe Graff Jr. go to the outside now. Schneider gets around Joe Graff Jr. He's going to slide up in front of Landon Castle off turn 4 as well. Up to 19th now for the 99 of Schneider. Not seen him run this good since Daytona at the start of the season. Still 10 laps to go in stage 1. There could be a possibility of Schneider's first career stage points in the Xfinity Series. although he had a 6th place finish at Daytona, he did not score any stage points that day. 12th and 13th in both stages. Came nowhere close to that at Vegas last night. Michael Annett has been the guy out in front for most of stage 1, has dominated the race to this point.
Still there.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people really realize that David Starr's been in the sport for as long as he has.
Top 3 easy defeated.
Never really made it into the Cup Series, but he's got some Truck Series wins under his name. Ran the Xfinity Series for some years now. He's actually really competitive in the Truck Series there in the mid-2000s. In the late 2000s. Sheriff Tony, welcome to the stream.
Car on the outside now.
Watching the Freedom 500.
Still there. You got room. You're clear there.
Yeah, there's a guy I know at work that he watches Cletus McFarland, so that's the only reason I really knew about the Freedom 500. He went through the entry list, and the only 2 names I knew, well, there are a few other names that I noticed on there, but the 2 NASCAR names that were in there were Haley Deegan and Alex Bowman, who I didn't even know was associated with. I thought that was weird. It's just like you see all these guys, a bunch of guys that I don't, never heard of, and then Alex Bowman thrown right in the mix. Okay, well, interesting. They're trying to get a run. He's definitely got the mid-corner speed right now as he's trying to get around the outside of Ryan Sieg, who was the pole sitter. He's falling back to 16th. Schneider side drafts him down the back straightaway. He's doing everything he can to pull him back. Well, crossover move by Schneider on the 39 of Ryan Sieg, beats him back to the gas and clears him off turn 4. Nice move. Trying to pull him and get whatever draft he can off Daniel Emmerich. Up to 16th here in stage 1 with 5 laps to go in the opening stage. Sieg charges hard back to the inside again through turns 1 and 2. Schneider again pulls away from him. It looked like off the restart, it might have been likely when Schneider got inside the top 20 that he was going to be able to maybe get some stage points for the first time this season, but it looks like now he can really only get up to about 13. Pulls out a line on Daniel Hemrick to make the pass for 15th. Down the front stretch.
Careful, still there. Clear eye, bud.
Back out of the gas a little early. Saw Hemrick had a big run on him. Almost tried to check up Hemrick's run that he had. That outer lane, the corner before. Schneider pushes wide up the racetrack off turn 4. Tells him to not carry as much speed here down the front stretch. He's going to go to the apron. Trying to take a little bit of a shortcut to try and help it out a little bit. Also helps break the draft. that Hemrick might have had down the front stretch to begin with. Ross Chastain and Josh Bilicki are the two cars still ahead of Schneider that are available for positions, and Daniel Hemrick's closing back in on the 99 of Schneider. Bilicki on the outside, Chastain down to the bottom into turns 3 and 4. Schneider goes up the racetrack. Sideways. Thinking about going up and side drafting the other 99 car, Josh Bilicki. Yeah, Morgan Shepherd is not in NASCAR Heat 5. Really trying to back the corners up, help his corner exit speed just a little bit more, and he just barely clears Josh Bilicki for position off turn 2. He's got that big run off the high side, though. Schneider's trying to hold him in line behind him. Bilicki a little bit off the wall that time. Schneider closes in on Ross Chastain. For position, going to get to his outside. A little side draft on Chastain now down the front stretch. Final lap of stage number 1 for Michael Annett. Schneider battling for 13th with Ross Chastain. Good job conserving the tires. Schneider did not get through turns 1 and 2 very well. He's trying to cross over on the 10 of Chastain. Chastain held the bottom beautifully. And slide up the racetrack. Schneider was hoping he would, so he can make that move. Chastain to the bottom. Schneider going to go even lower down to the apron with a little bit of a slide job up the racetrack and pulls clear. Used a lot of brakes into turns 3 and 4 that time to pull that slide job off to get to 13th. Stage 1 will come to an end, and Michael Annett will get his first stage win of the season. First playoff point of the year. Followed by Austin Cindric, Harrison Burton, Riley Herbst, Anthony Alfredo, the top 5, then Brandon Jones, Chase Briscoe, Justin Allgaier, Noah Gragson, Alex Obey, the top 10. But how about that? 13th for Schneider. Big bounce back, at least early in this race, although no stage points will carry over for him. Still pretty solid. 4 fresh tires and a full tank of fuel coming for the 99 team during this stage 1 break. And they're going to take a half a round of wedge out of the race car. It's going to be the only adjustment for the 99 team on pit road.
Coming to the green, driver.
Green flag back in the air.
Hold your line, got one inside.
Michael Annett led all but the first 2 laps of the race. Even off the last restart that we had for the one caution, Matt Mills hacked the outside wall off turn 4. Blowing the right front tire, his day came to an end. It was slow though on the short run, so he's probably going to fade way, way back. Cesar Baccarella pulls up in front of him. Schneider just trying to stay on the outside right now, mainly because Jeff Green's on the inside right in front of him. Oh, contact. Schneider was going low and thought Green was going to take it all the way to the white line. He didn't. That moved Schneider up out of the way. And 3 wide now from the outside down the front stretch. Schneider just got moved.
Stay high up there.
Yeah, the 1 second of damage was repairable. I was trying to save time on pit road because we have a slow pit crew. Tries to pull up in line between Fincham and Jesse Little. By the way, the 18 of Riley Herbst is battling for the lead. 3 wide up there for the lead. Michael Annett in the mix as well. Schneider's gone straight backwards off the restart anyway. Might as well have tried to repair that damage, I guess. 3 laps to go at stage 2, but still a little bit of a long ways to go total in this race. Another 110 laps to go. Schneider back to last on the lead lap. Cindric in the lead down the back straightaway now. It's got to be a crazy restart up towards the front if I'd have to imagine. Slow pit stop and then not a good restart after the contact with Jeff Green, getting down into turn 3 as Bump Schneider back to the 35th position here early in stage 2. No problem though, as long as he can, again, stay on the lead lap to the end of stage 2, gives himself somewhat of a shot for the final stage. If he can conserve his tires like he did in stage 1, he'll have 2 sets of tires for that 80-lap final stage after the pit stops during the stage break. Even if it does go green, so that could give him an advantage. It's likely going to be a 1 pit stop race anyway in the final stage, so why not? Maybe get a chance with a late race restart. You can come down on the pit road, take 4 tires, and let it rip. On a track like this, where even 5-lap pressure tires is a huge and massive difference. Get restart with about 15-20 to go, and everybody else has to stay out. Schneider can pit. That would be amazing for this team. And maybe see them get their second top 10 finish of the season. Got to be thinking long term because they did everything they could on equal tires to try and get stage points. They only got up to 13th. And he's not going to look for stage points as much as race finishing points, especially knowing that he's likely going to need a win or maybe even 2. Again, if we get more than 12 different winners in the regular season, Schneider's going to have to get 2 wins. We still have 2 more super speedways and 3 road courses in the regular season alone. And that could be 5. Maybe upset or wild card winners. On those tracks alone, we've had 2 different winners already. A lot of strong cars in this series. Competitive cars. Cindric has led a lot of laps this year. He's been close to winning the first 2 races, hasn't gotten it done. Pretty much all the junior motorsports Chevrolets. 4 of them are still winless as well. Up. He was about 2.5 seconds back of Baccarello, the 34th place cars, down to a 1.5 seconds, so he's trailing those cars towards the rear of the field back in again. Maybe a little bit quicker than what he did at the start of the race because of that wedge adjustment, taking that half a round of wedge out during the stage 1 break. Cameron Dixon, welcome to the stream. What's poppin'? Some nice NASCAR Heat 5 action on the channel today. Again, a double header for those of you just tuning in. Got a career mode race earlier. Of course, I'm off on Mondays, so got the career mode race going on right now, and then we'll have that Cup Series custom schedule race coming up later today. It'll already be the 9th race of the season. That'll be at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. First time the Cup Series will ever go to Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, so new track of the custom schedule season. We got another wild card race in the regular season. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight will be the start for that one. Backs his corners up. He can actually get through them really, really well. What really helped him on that restart midway through the opening stage as well. side of track. The 90 of Baccarello on the outside. Now he tries to get away from him a little bit. Baccarello pulls him right back on the other hand. Nearly 4 wide, just outside the top 30 up ahead. Everybody's fanning out. Schneider easily clears Baccarello off turn 2, that time for 34th. Clear of Austin Hill. Hops in line. Big move. 3 wide to the inside underneath Mike Harmon and the 89 of Landon Castle. Clears them both. Slides all the way up in front of Chad Fincham off turn 2 as well. Has 3 cars in 1 corner. What a move by the 99 of Schneider, moving back inside the top 30 and behind the 4 car now, Jesse Little. Get to the inside of Little off turn 4 as well. Not going to clear him, but has the bumper out in front. Trying to get that lower exit to the corner. Maybe help himself out down the front stretch that is curved. Should get him in 1 and 2. Should. And will clear. Off turn 2. The 29th. Inside Uranus. Welcome to the stream. Car's definitely handling a lot better in Stage 2 than what it was in Stage 1. It's nowhere near as tight as what it was. And we'll see on the very long run as the tires get older and older and older, especially when they go green all the way through Stage 2, on whether or not they'll continue to make adjustments going forward. This race car is definitely driving a lot nicer now. And also, for those of you just tuning in, again, our departments for the Xfinity Series are an 80 overall on the engine and 80 on the engine right now. We came into this race with a 79 on the suspension. So nearly an 80 overall car. I guess it would average out to be about a 79. But somebody's just dropped out of the race, I believe. Nobody's on pit road, but somebody dropped in the running order and might be blowing up on the racetrack. Maybe a right front tire is blown, but we continue to stay green here at the Auto Club Speedway. No clue exactly who it is yet. And it's somebody down the back straightaway, about halfway down the back straightaway. Hopefully we can get to the inside of the racetrack and get onto pit road, keep this race green. Oh, car scattering into turn 3. Yep, it is a car on the inside lane. Oh my goodness! Schneider just barrels on by on the outside. Schneider was going to take the inside line. He wasn't all the way down on the apron like you would have thought. He was on the actual inside groove of the track. Apparently the apron's a groove in turns 3 and 4 anyway, but still could have went a little bit lower, and Schneider was expecting him to, and he never did. Schneider barely missed him to the outside. He was able to get around Timmy Hill as well for position and all that. Couldn't tell exactly who the driver was. It looked like it might have been Joe Graff Jr. in the 08. Schneider makes a pass on Colby Howard. Moves to the inside now of CJ McLaughlin. Just blocks off Howard into turn 3 to keep it from being 3 wide into the corner. And now back into the top 25 once again. Which is, again, where we have to finish in the next 3 races for our incentive bonus. The second place finish at Vegas was not good. The next 2 races for the incentive bonus will be at Phoenix and then Atlanta, if we can make it that far, of course. If we don't, then we'll just have to get a new incentive bonus on the way there. Jacob Westbrook, welcome to the stream. I think it was Noah Gregson. Yeah, it was tough to tell who it was. I mean, we flew by him so fast. I tried to take a look at it, but we almost drilled him, so we had to look at it. We'll take a look at the stage break or a caution, whatever ends up coming next, to see who that second driver was. Matt Mills was the first driver to retire from the race. He brought out a caution midway through stage 1 after blowing a right front tire and impacting the outside wall hard off turn 4. Again, just shy of the halfway mark in the stage. 15 laps to go right now in stage 2. Raced the race last night. It looked like the Skeevy ran a good race. Gotcha. Yeah, it could have very well been Gregson. It was tough to tell. The leaderboard was moving so fast that I couldn't tell who it was when he at first dropped the cylinder and went up in smoke, but his day's likely done. He's been on pit road for about 2 or 3 laps now. Already lost probably 3 laps on Austin Cindric, who's leading after Michael Annett won stage 1. Looks like Cindric's dominating the second stage. Drafting off Tommy Joe Martins. He's got about 2.5 seconds ahead of Martins before the next driver for position, which will be Jeff Green in the 38 car.
Still there. You got room. You're clear there.
And all clear. Middle of turns 1 and 2. Holt's clear off the exit of turn 2. Martins may be looking low again. The battle back. They're going to go down and block him to the inside into turns 3 and 4. You and Real Radman are my favorite NASCAR users. Thanks, man. I greatly appreciate it. It feels like I'm doing something right, like I'm doing something, you know, good entertainment-wise whenever you guys even relate me to these much bigger and larger NASCAR YouTubers like, you know, Radman, for instance, like you just mentioned, or really anybody, any of the NASCAR Weekly podcast guys. There's so many different NASCAR YouTube content out there. Although there is a handful of NASCAR YouTubers that do NASCAR Heat or NASCAR gaming in general, try to bring that different avenue into it with the realistic broadcast side of things. And obviously with, you know, this being my young journey to becoming a NASCAR broadcaster in the real realms down the line, this is the first foot in the door. I think it's going to be fun to watch this journey grow over the years to come. As long as you guys are in for the ride, I'll take you along with me. Who won the second race of the season in the career mode? Yes, so Brandon Jones won the season opener at Daytona. Second race last night at Las Vegas was won by... having a brain fart, I know who it is. Oh, man. I mentioned it at the start of the race, and now I'm just not thinking of it off the top of my head.
10 laps to go.
Chase Briscoe, my bad. Chase Briscoe. I don't know why I was stumped on that. I mentioned it like twice already in the race, and I somehow forgot it in between the second time I said it now. Chase Briscoe won at Las Vegas last night. It's like I do so many races, so it all kind of meshes together from time to time. Finding me after I recommended after watching Inbound. Gotcha. And I mean, anytime we're gonna get, like, I would have to imagine more likes and more views on certain streams, those are gonna be the streams that I for sure. It's finally caught Jeff Green. Remember, Green shuffled Schneider out of line on the restart that dropped him further to the back, maybe much sooner, much quicker onto the short run. He's been running to the outside. He did take the line away from Schneider in turns 3 and 4, but Schneider still clears him and gets around him in the center of the corner. They're going low. He's trying to break the draft, but Jeff Green still drafting him down the front stretch. Well, these things are really spaced apart right now. Kind of a quiet portion of the race. Did anybody watch my Detroit Tigers get their butts handed to them on national television this afternoon? I don't know what the final score was. They were done through 7 innings when I came up to stream, and they were down 15-1. I was like, man, if it's going to be a close game, I'm going to miss the end of it. It wasn't even close anyway, so I don't know what happened there. I mean, they're only going to be 2-2, and it's early in the season, so I guess it's still not bad. We got 2 more games in the series. It was going to be over way before we started streaming, but they had about an hour rain delay at the start. It was supposed to start at 1. I almost went to the game. Almost went. I have talks of maybe going to a game next weekend, though, in Cleveland. Tigers go there on Sunday. The NASCAR race is on Saturday night, so, I mean, we could easily stream that night. The game's at 1 o'clock. I could be home by 5:30, 6 o'clock easily, so that's probably what I'll end up doing next weekend. Watching the Cup race Saturday night and then waking up in the morning to head to Cleveland for the baseball game. That's what I'm hoping for. As long as the weather stays the way it looks like it's going to for next weekend. About mid-60s. Be a nice day. Braves fan that got swept by Philadelphia.
Got one up top.
Yeah, I don't really look around the league as much with my sports that I watch. Like, I watch NASCAR so much and so much NASCAR stuff that I follow my favorite teams, and that's about it. Like, I am still a diehard, local sports fan for my Detroit teams. For instance, for football, the Packers. But outside of that, I really don't pay attention to anything else in the league. Maybe in the NFL playoffs, I'll watch, some other playoff games. But outside of that, though, especially with it being NASCAR offseason, then it's a little easier to watch football. But yeah, I mean, during the season, I just pretty much, like for baseball instances, I watch the Tigers. I might see some stuff around the league, but I just watch the Tigers games. It's unfortunate. Every single race I'm going to this year, they're playing nowhere near an area city, like on the way down or whatever, that I could catch a game. Somewhere different other than Comerica or Progressive. Detroit or Cleveland. Those are the only 2 stadiums I've actually seen a game in. I've seen other baseball stadiums. Like, I've seen the new Atlanta Stadium when I was down there a couple years ago for the NASCAR race. I've seen Cincinnati, Great American Ballpark, where the Reds play so many times. Anytime I've traveled on I-75 south to go to a race, I pass it. It's right off the highway. And then I've seen PNC Park twice, I want to say, in Pittsburgh. But I haven't seen a game at either of those 2 stadiums. So I was hoping that, the Tigers would play, when I go to Road America, maybe they'd play Milwaukee or, the White Sox or Chicago on the way up there 4th of July weekend. Nope, they don't play any one of those 3 teams, which, I figured maybe the White Sox would be a good opportunity. They're in the same division. But yeah, this year it just doesn't fall right, unfortunately. Yeah, exactly. With it being local broadcasting, so much easier to catch it. I get pretty much everything Detroit and Cleveland because I'm closer to Detroit, but then living in the state of Ohio, you automatically have the Ohio network of stations too. But I'm in Northwest Ohio, so I'm only an hour and 15 minutes south of Detroit. Actually closer to Detroit than what I am Cleveland.
I need 2 more. It's on the left, man. Keep it going.
All right, well, 2 laps to go in stage number 1. Schneider's got to finish on the lead lap again. Not as good as what he was in stage 1, but he had that caution to break things up in the first stage. We're about to go, well, never mind. We're not going to go caution-free in stage 2. Caution's going to wave, and that's going to end the stage prematurely. Riley Herbst is going to go on to win the second stage of the race. He got around, Austin Cindric there with a couple laps to go in lap traffic. So the stage 2 victory goes to Riley Herbst. getting his first stage win of the season. 4 fresh tires, full tank of fuel during the pit stop. That 1 second damage will be repaired. Schneider's going to drop another half a round of wedge as well during this pit stop. Controller battery is low. Yes, I know it is, and I will change it. It just went low, and luckily the stage came to an end soon. All right, there we go. Brandon Brown will get the free pass in 25th during the stage break, so it's a good thing for Schneider, too, is that only 25 drivers on the lead lap. He has to finish top 25. Remember, 2 guys are out of the race. Sorry, I didn't get to see who that was of the race.
Green. Got a car coming inside.
And the green flag is back in the air. Riley Herbst wins the race off pit road after winning stage 2. 78 laps to go in this race. By the time we go green here in stage 3, about half of the race still remains.
You're all clear on the bottom there.
Schneider on the outside actually got a decent restart. He was able to side draft Jeff Green initially. He's going to get maybe back to the inside. Oh, he almost did. Schneider pulls the block on him, trying to hold him back. Green got into the left rear of Schneider on the restart to stage number 2. Maybe racing him a little harder than what he would some of these other drivers.
Outside. You're all clear on top.
Green coming again on the bottom. CJ McLaughlin in the 93 car towards the outside. Trying to get a run on the high side of Schneider. Into turns 1 and 2. A little side draft. Going to pull him right back again.
Inside. Clear low.
McLaughlin's actually the first driver to lap down. Chad Fincham 3 wide to the outside. They're 3x3 towards the back of this pack right now.
Inside. Clear low.
Schneider with a really low entry into the corner. 4 wide here at Fontana.
Car outside.
For a split second, they were 4 wide. They're still 3x3 off the exit of turn 4.
Got a car high now.
Schneider's still probably going to just fall all the way towards the back again. Oh, and he crowded the 61 of Austin Hill.
Car there on the inside. Got one up top. You got room. You're clear.
Michael Annette back out in front, first time since stage 1. Michael Annette has been able to lead, or at least the restart, after winning stage 1. Cindric led the most laps in stage 2, but he did not get the stage win. Get Herbst past him with just a couple laps to go. And then the caution came out as they were coming to the final lap of the stage. So we've had 2 cautions per incident total now tonight. Cross flags halfway home, 75 laps to go. 2 fresh sets of tires for Schneider and this 99 team as well the rest of the way. So maybe a little pit strategy could be on the horizon late. Get a couple of timely cautions. Really just the one timely caution.
Outside.
Took the draft off Baccarello, and that just allowed Brandon Brown to get around, and that was for position too. But he's got a much faster car at this point in the run anyway. Schneider charges back to the apron in turns 3 and 4, but comes nowhere close to getting back to the inside of Brown. Brown quickly to the inside of Baccarello in the 90. This is going to make it a little bit easier for Schneider to maybe get a 25th place finish. And even just to finish on the lead lap after finishing 7 laps down in Vegas last night would be a huge improvement from one race to the next. I know he had a lot of damage and it wasn't the speed that cost him 7 laps. He probably would have finished 2 to 3 laps down on speed last night. He wouldn't have finished on the lead lap regardless. We haven't had a lot of cautions today either. I mean, it's just the fact that he brought a little bit better race car to the track than what he did Vegas. And he's keeping out of trouble as well. Oh, you go well over 220 in an IndyCar at Dayton. Oh, they would go way faster than that. You gotta figure at Indianapolis, that's a flat racetrack. They're going, what, average qualifying speeds like 230 plus miles an hour easily. I mean, they'd be going. Dega, I mean, they wouldn't even have. I don't even think they'd have an engine that could hold up those kinds of speeds. They'd go like 250 plus easily, 260, 270 in the draft. Car keeps coming to him a lot quicker though with these wedge adjustments, with these overall adjustments to the race car. Gotta be proud of what this team's able to accomplish. Burnt 20% off the right front though. Early in stage 3. He's taking care of the tires very well. The Indy 500 every year. The speeds are absolutely insane. Yeah. Michigan was a fast racetrack when they had the 750 horsepower package there before they moved to the 550. And in qualifying, they were going speeds of about 220 miles an hour into turn 1. In 2018, the temperatures were even cooler that year. I went in 2015, and they were fast then. They were even faster in the June 2018 race because the temperatures were like 60 degrees, so there's a lot more grip than what it was in that summer race in 2015. In the summer race, it was like upper 80s, so it was a little bit slicker, but there was a lot more grip. That 2018 race, my gosh. I mean, they were absolutely hauling. But yeah, I couldn't imagine going to Indy. I will be at the Indy 500 eventually. No timetable of when. I'm going to the Coke 600, so I definitely won't be there this year. It's on the same day, so I'll be in Charlotte. Hopefully I can at least watch the race. I always like watching the Indy 500. I know the Coke 600 isn't until later, but I don't know what we're going to be doing at the track that day. Hopefully I can watch the Indy 500 and then go to the track right after the 500's over. Curious to see. I mean, this is what we've waited for, the final stage of the race. This is what we're going to be waiting for a lot this season, especially early. Schneider's not going to have a good shot at stage points for most of the year. But just staying out of trouble the first 2 stages, running his own race like he has in the first 3 races this year, even though he's not getting stage points. Stay in it, stay calm, get to the final stage and go for broke. You still want to get to the end of the race, obviously. So you don't want to over-push those limits. He only had 1 DNF in the Truck Series, so he knows how to get to the end of these shorter races.
Stay high up here.
A little harder in the Cup Series. Not worried about that right now. He's got to worry about the present, worry about how he's going to run in this Xfinity Series season.
All right, you're clear.
Yeah, it's a great day of racing. Then you got Monaco if you're an F1 fan in the morning too, which not a really big F1 fan, I know, for you guys. But I did watch all 3 races one day in 2019. I wanted to watch all 3 events. I watched Monaco in the morning. Like, what the heck, I'll turn it on. That was actually the first F1 race I've ever watched. 2019 Monaco. R6, welcome to the stream as well. I don't know why everybody says the Coke 600 takes like 5 hours. Very rarely it takes that long. Unless there's like a ton of cautions like in 2005. And, I mean, that race took over 5 hours, but they don't get a lot of cautions in the race. It does get over in less than 4.5 hours. I mean, it's treated as a marathon race for a reason. That's why it's the longest race of the year, why it's as big of an event as it is. drives it deep.
Top 3 unit is
It's
hit.
around the 4.
Outside.
In the 93, got around the 15 to Colby Howard getting into the corner. There's nearly 3 wide behind him. A little side-by-side action, though, for a moment down the front stretch. Still in 24th, though. Those are all lap cars Schneider just passed. 4.5 seconds to the 23rd place car, Jeff Green, right now. Yeah, weather can be a factor for sure. It has rained the last couple years, I believe. Yeah, it rained last year, I know for a fact, because the race didn't get over till like midnight. So I know it rained last year, like somewhere during the race. It wasn't at the start, I don't think. That might have been at the start. I remember they had qualifying, and then I can't remember if it rained between qualifying or the race, or if it rained during the race, but I do remember there being rain, because it didn't end till midnight, even though it started at like 6 o'clock. People say, oh, the race took 6 hours last year. It's so long and boring. It's like it took 6 hours because it rained. The race itself was less than, right around 4.5 hours. It's not a 6-hour race. I don't know why people complain that much about the Coke 600. But I personally like it. I mean, it's only once a year you have to deal with it. That's why I feel like it's such a big event. All right, let's see these guys race for 600 miles. He's going to have it at the end. He's going to have their equipment that they need for the end of the race. That's a dangerous racetrack even for sports cars. I don't know if I can see stock cars going there. I don't see them going anywhere overseas anytime soon anyway, but it's been a long time, even prior to COVID, since I've been over in Europe, Asia, anywhere overseas. I don't really see it happening anytime soon. Yeah, endurance racing is pretty cool. I should probably watch more into it. I watch the Rolex 24 every year, but a lot of that is because it's the off season of NASCAR, so, and there's usually some NASCAR drivers in it at least. Usually. Especially this year, there was a handful of them. Past and present. That's usually what intrigues me into watching that every year. But there's about 2/3 of a lap off the race leader, Michael Annette. Still in 24th. Passed Brandon Brown a little while ago now. Oh, I don't even know. I don't know the full layout of Le Mans' racetracks. I wouldn't be able to tell you how many chicanes they would have to add or how many there are. Yeah, people complain about the 500-mile races in NASCAR, and I agree to a certain extent. You know, I feel like the crown jewels should definitely be the longer races. But I mean, Atlanta or Texas being 500 doesn't bother me really. You make the races shorter, and I feel like the competition of it isn't as good. Because teams don't have as many pit stops, therefore they don't have as many chances to make adjustments on the race car, especially at a time of no practice or qualifying. That's huge. They don't have a chance to make as many changes, so if they're not fast going into the race, you know, they're likely not going to be able to come back from it, usually. They have a better chance of doing that if they have an extra 100 miles. That's already a guaranteed extra pit stop. Maybe more depending on if there's more cautions because of the extra 100 miles. It makes the Coke 600 nice too, because it's a 600-mile race. It's even longer. So many things can happen during the course of the race that can alter who might end up winning in the end. That's why we've seen so many first-time winners, so many wild-card winners in the Coke 600 years past. Not so much in recent years, but Look at drivers who have gotten their first career wins there. Jeff Gordon, Matt Kenseth in that race, Casey Mears, Jamie McMurray at Charlotte, not necessarily the 600, but a 500-mile race at Charlotte even. Got his first career win there. Those are just some of the names. And that's one thing I like about Pocono too. It's like people don't like it because the racing's not as good there. Yeah, there isn't as much passing going on. But if there's enough strategy involved in the race, which Pocono, we've seen a lot of fuel mileage races at that place. Fuel mileage races are exciting in my opinion. I see a lot of them at Pocono. Even just the track position game. It was fun to watch Hamlin and Harvick last year at Pocono when they were close. I forget which one of the two races. I think it was the first Pocono race. The second Pocono race, Hamlin pulled away. I think it was the first one where Harvick and Hamlin were like under a blanket. It all came down to strategy, who was going to win. You know, was it going to be 2 tires versus 4? And, you know, what was going to work and the timing of when they pitted, was it going to work? And it ended up working out for Harvick. And then the next day, Hamlin just kind of pulled away from Kevin. Kevin really had no chance at him the second day, but first day it was really fun. I like those kinds of races from time to time. I like the change of variety. We don't need a, 550 pack racing on restarts and then let it just tame out. Everybody pretty has good control of the cars unless they're in traffic, then they're super tight, but they're pretty much glued to the racetrack. Nice to see the strategy at least kind of come into play from time to time. That's part of what made road course racing so fun too before NASCAR implemented. I mean, road course racing is still fun, don't get me wrong, but before the stage breaks, I mean, there was so much strategy. Every time they went into Watkins Glen, there was so much strategy because it was a track that you could get to the end of 2 stops, depending on how many cautions. So you'd have guys that would take 2 stops versus guys that would take 3 stops. And it was really fun to watch, see how that would unfold.
Stay low.
And you get the random cautions thrown in the mix that kind of throw a wrench in everybody's strategy.
Still there.
You don't get it as much with the stage racing now. You still can, and we have had it, but it's just not as likely. Because you know for a fact that pretty much everybody's going to be pitting around the same time at least twice. Oh yeah, I forgot about Austin Dillon too. Yeah, Austin Dillon, also first-time winner of the Coke 600. That was another fuel mileage race too. He's worked his way up to 21st, 53 laps to go currently. The Auto Club Speedway. Mine's is an 8.5-mile racetrack. Yeah, NASCAR would never race. Not race on a road course that long. I mean, Road America's long enough, and that's about 4 miles. It is 4 miles. I don't think NASCAR is going to go anywhere larger of a road course in length than that. I think 4 to 4.5 miles is like the cap. Because then the races aren't as long in laps. I mean, that's the idea of NASCAR is... Yeah, it's mostly oval racing, but it's also, endurance. That's why the races were as long as they were for so long. People just ended up having shorter attention spans now. It's the only reason we have a bunch of 400-mile races. It's the only reason. Most of them were 500. We've seen that with the NASCAR 04 playthrough, NASCAR 5 playthrough. It's just naturally more. Or there were, even just 15, 20 years ago, 10 to 15, 20 years ago, there was so many more 500 mile races. So 50 laps to go. This time by for Michael Annett will be 2/3 of the way home. And again, still in 21st. He's about 2.5 seconds, maybe a little less than that now, behind Josh Williams at 20th. Michael Annett is definitely still closing in. Schneider's over 3/4 of a lap behind the race leader. Not saying he wants a caution right now, but he might need a caution here eventually. He's going to want to stay on the lead the lap. He'll likely allow it to stay green here for a while, try to pick up as many positions as possible, but eventually he will need a caution or he will go a lap down. He doesn't have quite that much speed in the race car. I'm not a caution in stage 3 yet. We had one each in the first 2 stages. That has led the most laps so far today. Could be a 3rd different winner in the first 3 races, which is not good for Schneider. Anybody, really. Again, only 12 drivers make the playoffs in the Xfinity Series. We talked about only 10 made it in the Truck Series. We had 8 different winners, but the difference between the Xfinity and the Truck Series is that you have 26 regular season races in the Xfinity Series with only 2 extra playoff spots on the trucks. Well, the Truck Series is 16 races. You have 10 more races with 2 more spots. Again, this Xfinity Series regular season is the same length as the Cup Series regular season, and you have 4 less spots than the Cup Series. Why, again, I kind of feel like 12 is the right number for spots to make it into the playoffs. I mean, we talk about this year for the Cup Series possibly having, 16 different winners. Just imagine if it was 12. I mean, you would definitely have guys having to race away and even with a win. Well, we don't know for sure because we're not there yet, but we're well on pace to having more than 12. Be more likely. But also with 12, I think that they should shorten the playoffs up, obviously, as well. Not having 10 races, I'd say have it 9 and have, instead of just one championship race, have the knockout after the round of 12, knockout after the round of 8, carry the playoff points into the final round as well. And, if Harvick made the championship 4 last year, instead of it having to come down to one race, it's given that big lead, and we'll see if he can hang on for the final 3 races.
All right, clear all right.
That would kind of be my playoffs. I feel like it'd be a little bit... It would treat it well, I feel like, for the old school fans, a little bit better than the current one, and I also feel like the newer fans that have come into NASCAR only knowing of the playoffs, the current playoff format to be in the thing, that they would be able to get behind it as well, because it's still the playoffs, it's still treated the same point system, it's just less drivers make it, and instead of the championship 4, it's 3 races, just like the other rounds prior to it, instead of just 1. Let the points carry all the way into the final race, so you still have points racing even in the last race of the season. You still have a win in your in into the next round, but then when you get to the championship 4, there's no win in your in. It's just those 4 guys battling. Drivers that are short pitting, Schneider can go about another 7 laps on fuel. He's done a very great job today of taking care of his race tires. He's got 2 sets left the rest of the race. He's inside the top 10 now, but again, it's because a lot of drivers hit pit road. Race leader Michael Annett still on the racetrack. He even stayed out this next lap as well. So race high, Schneider up to 9th off turn 2 on the outside of Joe Graf Jr. in the 08. Jr.'s trying to stay alongside of Schneider's, but maybe side drafting him just a little bit. Have that run getting to the inside into turns 3 and 4. Schneider trying to pinch him on the inside. And he had to lift. If they were going to have a full season points format, I feel like they should keep the race points the way they are now, though. I feel like they should keep the stages. They should keep, you know, I would not have a caution for the stages, but keep the stages. Do a full season championship like that. 1 point per position, too, instead of how the Winston Cup Series had it. Back in the day, they had like 5 points per position through, you know, however many, and then it was 4 points through position. There were different increments throughout the field, which I didn't like about it. It wasn't like even like it was only 5 points per position, like every single position all the way throughout the field, or 3 all the way through, or 1 like it is now all the way through. That's what I do like about current points format, is that it is 1 point per position all the way through. Michael Annette is on pit road. Schneider is staying out of the pits as long as he can. He could still go about another 3 or 4 laps. Could you imagine if we get a caution and we get so many drivers trapped a lap down? Schneider would be out in front. That's what he's banking on at this moment. Why not? Stay out. Let's ride it. Schneider will get to the lead. Cindric's just on his way pulling out of pit road, so Keegan Schneider is out in front for the first time today at the Auto Club Speedway with about 42 laps to go, 41 at the start-finish line here. It'll be his first lap led when he gets back to the line. So how about that? Keegan Schneider out in front. He only led 2 laps at Daytona late in that race, didn't lead any at Vegas, and now Schneider is saved his tires a lot more than everybody else, and you have to imagine him being slower on the shorter run is helping him save those tires. Can't be hurting him. Loosening the car up a couple times as well, taking less pressure on the right front and a little bit more on the right rear. He's definitely driving really well. Banking on a caution at this point. Lock himself into even better of a finish. Ryan Sieg charging hard. I think he's going to want to try and get back on the lead lap on the high side in turns 3 and 4. Problem is with going this long is he might be at risk of going a lap down once he cycles off of pit road. Unless he tries a strategy of his own, he might go right sides only. If this does go green to the end of the stage, are these guys going to make it on fuel and tires to the end of the race, or are they going to have to pit one more time? Maybe Schneider can make it to the end on one more stop. I mean, this could have very well turned into a strategy race here today at the Auto Club Speedway. Keegan Schneider going to stay out one. Oh, car on the wall! Hard! Joe Graff Jr. Caution is out! A lap before Schneider had to come to pit road. Hard crash into the outside wall and spinning goes Joe Graff Jr. Our third caution of the day. Oh my goodness, that is what Schneider was hoping for with 40 laps to go. That was a vicious accident, by the way. Hopefully he's all right. Ryan Sieg will get the free pass in 16th. That trapped so many drivers a lap down. The strategy for Schneider works with an absolutely great timing caution. No adjustments on this pit stop. He was able to lead 3 laps, maybe a couple more under caution as well. And it is now definitely going to be a fuel mileage and tire strategy race to the finish if this goes green. But for right now, that couldn't have been any more perfect. Now, Schneider's picture is obviously slow, so they're going to restart 11th. After the bad luck at Vegas last night, complete 180 to Auto Club here today. Green flag back in the air. If he just gets to the end of the race, he's going to automatically have a top 25 now. Top 20 even. Green flag back in the air. Everybody else pitted for tires as well. And now it's going to be a fuel mileage / tire mileage race to the finish here at Auto Club. And Schneider saved his tires well in the first run. Can he pull off a miracle win here today at the Auto Club Speedway? Look at the restarts. 2 and 3 wide through the pack. A little contact. Schneider just got pushed into the 99 of Bilicki from the 8. And around goes Schneider, 4 wide up the corner. Contact to the inside. Joe Nemechek goes around. Into the grass. Caution will wave again. 35 laps to go, and that is not what Schneider wanted to see. They were 4 wide. He about got turned by the 8 of Hemrick off of turn 4, who was trying to go 5 wide into the corner when they were already 4 wide, and he just shot Schneider into the 99 of Bilicki. And that about turned Schneider around. He sideswiped the 47 of Nemechek trying to get off of Hemrick. And we get our fourth now, caution of the race. David Starr will get the free pass at 17. And that's not what Schneider wants to see. He wants to see this run green because it's going to be less likely for those other guys to make it on fuel and tires. But now they're going to get 3 caution laps. It's going to be a little easier for them to make it to the finish. We'll rack them and stack them again. And that was the crazy restart that you come to see here at Fontana. 5 wide nearly off of turn 4, and it just did not work. Cindric will lead the field to the green this time. 32 laps to go at the Auto Club Speedway. Restart on the top. Second time Schneider's had to restart on the outside lane today, and both times actually worked out really well for him. Might get a massive push here from Ryan C. Not quite. Getting into the corner. Look at that. 3, 4 wide for second place off turn 2. Sieg to the right rear corner panel. Now Bilicki down low to push Schneider on the inside.
Got one peeking outside. Outside. Car there on the
and they're 4 wide again in turns 1 and 2.
Got one outside. Inside.
Nemechek into the back bumper of Schneider off turn 2. Oh, and he almost got hooked by the 99 of Bilicki. Here comes the 92. Schneider's all over the place down the back straightaway, just trying to keep on to that race car after the contact from Nemechek and Bilicki. Bilicki gets a little sideways getting into the corner now. And at the line, Justin Allgaier's back out in front for the first time in a while. With just 30 laps to go here in Fontana.
Car there on the inside. Got one inside.
Push now from Timmy Hill. Massive run. Schneider got down the back straightaway.
Car on the outside now.
Yeah, it had too much of a run. He had to lift. Tommy Joe Martin's there.
Car on the outside now.
Really bad short run speed indeed. Really, really bad. Push from Austin Hill. Getting into the corner. Hill again, pushing Schneider off turn 2.
Got one inside.
Send him maybe a little wide, and Schneider again going to pull a block on Hill. If you're going to push me, you're not going to get around me, but if you want to pass cleanly, go ahead. Schneider's been pushed around on these restarts a few times, especially late now. The restarts get more and more intense. Hill again, going to push. It's fine to push down the straightaways, especially with how long they are here in Fontana. It's maybe a little bit harder to hang on to it in the bumps versus a 2-mile track like Michigan.
Stay low, stay low. Oh,
Still. Not in the center of the corner like that, though. Schneider hangs on to it again. Yeah, I will check the finishing order all the way through. I keep forgetting to check who DNF'd earlier in the race. Joe Graff Jr., that last caution for sure. And we know the first caution was for Matt Mills back at stage 1. Schneider's in 17th right now. Again, the goal is top 25. He gets to the end of this race, he'll easily get the top 20. He's got the long run speed. I feel like he can get back into the top 15. The adjustments he's made today as well.
Still there inside.
It's a gutsy move. Got to go hard to the finish here. There is no saving. We saw everybody pit so early. Again, about 7 laps before Schneider was even going to think of coming down to pit road. Now that last caution.
Same old, same old.
And that second to last restart might have helped these guys. That's 3 caution laps that they got to run versus green flag laps to help save their tires. You might see some guys blowing tires at the end of this race trying to make it to the end, and that could bring out another late race caution. Schneider has 1 set of tires left the rest of the way as well. If we did get another caution, you can bet for sure he's coming to pit road. Why not?
There on the outside.
Another part of the strategy by going as long as he did compared to everybody else. Everybody pitted under the caution. Schneider pitted with those guys. He would have had to pit too to make sure he can make it to the end. Now he doesn't have to. And no matter what, he was able to lead a career high in laps here in the Xfinity Series today. He led 3 green flag laps versus the 2 he led at Daytona, and he led a couple under that caution before he had to pit as well. He lost spots on pit road. So there's a plus side to that. Joey Logano fan, welcome to the stream. Going to alternate through the different camera angles one more time in today's race. 24 to go. Well, I don't know. They pitted 7 laps before. And when we went green originally... Oh, Schneider barely cleared Brandon Brown off turn 2. That was close. But anyway, there were 35 laps to go. And the fuel tank can go 39 laps. So already, that was going to make them 4 laps shorter of a run than what they would have had to make, and they pitted 7 laps before Schneider. So that means they were about 3 laps below being able to make it to the end to the good. But then the caution came out, and they got those 3 laps under yellow. So right now, they are very close to the... I mean, they're like right there, where I feel like some of these guys are going to make it, some of them aren't. But which ones are the guys that will make it to the end? And can Schneider get around those guys and hopefully outlast the others at DNF? I do feel confident that he can get a top 10 today at least. Anything inside of that, we'll have to wait and see. Got caught by Colby Howard. We get one more caution, I can guarantee that they will definitely make it on fuel and tires. They might even pit again, I don't know. That would be the worst case scenarios if we get a caution and everybody pits, because Schneider doesn't have the short run speed. At that point, depending on how many laps are left, I think you just stay out. You just do opposite of everybody else. And there's the caution with 22 to go. They're just talking about it. Justin Haley will get the free pass in 18th, but caution will wave now for the 5th time today, and the 3rd time in the final stage, 3rd time in the last 40 laps of the race. Looks like Chad Fincham might have been the cause of the accident. Yes, Noah Gragson did DNF back at the end of stage 2, it looked like. So now we're going to have 18 laps to go in the restart. We're going to have 4 laps under this caution. Everybody's going to be very close to the end. Schneider, no adjustments, but there will be a stop. This is his final set of tires, but he will have fresher tires at the end of this race. And as far as green flag laps go, he'll have about 10 lap fresher tires, which is a huge difference here in Fontana. Will the strategy work to win this race?
Coming to the green, driver.
Third career start is all it took for Schneider to get a win in the Truck Series, and he's trying to do the same in the Xfinity Series. He's got the preferred lane on the inside, and Justin Allgaier leads us to the green with 18 to go.
Careful, still there.
The wild restart coming up. 10 lap pressure tires. Can Schneider pull off the win? In the Truck Series, though, we had a 90 overall car when we won in our third career race there in Atlanta. We have a 79 overall car for this Xfinity race.
Careful, still there.
Cautions have absolutely fallen his way perfectly late in this race. First to trap a lot of guys a lap down, and now to pit for tires to the end. And he's definitely good to go. Everybody else is still probably going to be close, but I expect that they, with these 3 late cautions, are going to be able to make it now. We might get another caution before the end. That's very well possible. Will the 10-lap pressure tires overcome the 79 overall car that they brought to the racetrack today? Quickly side drafting the 39 and the pole sitter of Ryan Sieg, who was a lap down earlier. Got the free pass during one of these late race cautions. Now you can get a push down the straightaways by anybody that might have that straightaway speed advantage on him still. That would be huge.
Keep hitting your mark. You'll be getting better.
We got Daniel Hemrick right on the inside of him. Schneider finally blocks and pulls clear of Hemrick. Now to the inside of Chastain. 3 wide into 1 and 2. Oh, no, not quite 3 wide. It looked like he was going to get there. Oh, they're 4 wide instead off turn 2. Oh, my goodness. 4 wide off the exit of turn 2. No contact. Everybody makes it. Schneider was sliding up the track. He drove it in maybe a little too deep to quickly try to get around all 3 cars.
Still there.
To the apron in turns 3 and 4. 3 wide again underneath the 8 of Hemrick. Pulls clear that time. Also clears the 10 of Chastain as well. We've seen 4 wide a couple times today on the restarts. 15 laps to go now. Austin Cindric, by the way, is now back out in front for the first time since stage 2.
Got one outside now.
Schneider's just battling too much in traffic right now.
Still there. Careful.
Between Daytona now this is absolutely impressive what this team is able to do early in the season. Ooh, almost some contact between Josh Bilicki and Alex LeBay off of turn 4 that time. Final 14 laps and will stay green to the end. Schneider just can't get around Josh Bilicki in the 99.
Still there.
Stuck in traffic. I mean, this, even though there's multiple grooves around this racetrack and with the racing tire wear, this is still a track position kind of a game. At Fontana with these long straightaways and just trying to cling in the draft as much as you possibly can.
Stay high up here.
Schneider just cannot get around Josh Bilicki or Alex LeBay to save his life right now. He's still stuck in 13. Hemrick hasn't been able to close back in on him, but he gets to the inside of either the 99 or the 36. He just can't get around him. Dives down to the bottom again, gets half the race car on the apron, slide job up the racetrack. He'll clear Bilicki off turn 4 for 12 finally. Bilicki's going to have the run down the straightaway though. He's probably going to pull into the back bumper of Schneider. Oh yeah, he's going to give him a push into turn 1. Schneider holds on to it though. It's going to be a good corner through 1 and 2 for him, and he did hang on to it. I was hoping he wasn't going to overrun the corner because of the massive amount of speed after that push from Bilicki. But he was able to hang on. Top 10 very much in reach, though. Jeffrey Earnhardt's trying to hang on for the top 10 on Alex LeBay. Schneider's got a big run off turn 4. LeBay cuts to the inside of Jeffrey Earnhardt. Schneider goes down now to draft LeBay. He's hopefully going to try to follow him into turn 1 and keep Jeffrey Earnhardt lined up to the outside, and that is exactly what happened. But Schneider cannot clear as Jeffrey Earnhardt's able to side draft the right rear corner panel of Schneider's race car. And again, has to pull in line back behind him again, and we are coming to 10 laps to go, this time by at the line. Schneider's still about 4.5 seconds off the race lead.
Careful, still there.
Back to the inside of Jeffrey Earnhardt. Now he side drafts him off turn 4. Might allow LeBay to pull ahead a little bit further ahead of the 0 and the 99 for 10. A little bit wider corner into turns 1 and 2 this time for Schneider. Ran that middle lane. He's trying something different. Trevor Grimes, welcome to the stream. LeBay going to try the high side. Schneider really trying to back up his corner through turns 3 and 4. Big charge to the bottom behind Jeffrey Earnhardt. Going back to what he was able to do there earlier in the race, first half of the race at least, where he was backing up the corners maybe a little bit better. He's going to get to the inside of Jeffrey Earnhardt into turns 1 and 2. Again, tries to back his corner up. Crossover to the outside. Usually you see a crossover to the inside. Now he's trying to side draft the right rear quarter panel of Jeffrey Earnhardt. Doing everything he can. Lucas Casso, Wesley Zini, welcome to the stream, guys. Schneider trying to pull the slide job through 3 and 4, back to the bottom. Jeffrey Earnhardt to the outside, Schneider to 11th. Earnhardt's got the run off turn 4. He's going to give him a push. 8 laps to go for Austin Cindric. Try and get his first win of the season. LeBay to the high side, Schneider to the inside through 1 and 2. Another slide job. And Schneider inside the top 10. LeBay trying to cross over. Schneider goes down to block. 7 to go this time at the line for Cindric. Always watching when you go live. Yeah, I just try to shout out anybody I see new in the chat throughout the course of the race, that's all. Yeah, thanks for watching. The problem with the high side is that our race car is so good in the corners. That's why we take the shortest route, because we lack on the straightaways. It's not necessarily because we're running the bottom. It's just because we're slow in the engine department. I usually like the bottom at Fontana. One time I really used the top, Kansas, Vegas. Occasionally Charlotte and Atlanta, but usually I run the bottom. Bristol, I like to run the top as well. Michael Annette to the lead. Passes Cindric going into turn 3. Coming to 6 to go this time by. There is definitely a good race out in front. Five to go now. We get to the white flag. The next flag will end the race. Whether it would be the yellow or the checker. The camera, I could drive with either or. I alternate through the different camera angles, but to get like a wider view of what's going on for the realistic broadcast side of things for these races, that's why I ride the outside camera more often. But I'd say the inside's just harder because it's, you know, a tighter window. You're not able to see everything. But myself, I'm able to do them. That's why I do alternate a couple times throughout the course of the race. They're slowly picking up ground on the 9th place car, Ray Black Jr. Maybe hoping for another caution to better his position, but at least he's going to get inside the top 10 to the end of the race. We've seen 3 cautions already in the final 40 laps, so we'll see a 4th. 5 total so far. If we get a 6th, it'll be the most of the first 3 races of the season. Well, 2 cautions have come Schneider's way perfectly in today's race. I think he's asking for too much if he gets a 3rd. I mean, that would just be insane if he gets another one. Coming to 2 laps to go for Michael Annett, who just got around Cindric, coming to 5 laps to go in the race. Does he have enough? Can Michael Annett pull off his first win of the year and make it 3 different winners in the first 3 races?
Just a couple more turns. 2 more. Here we go.
2-mile track here to get to the white flag, though. If it wasn't for all these late race cautions, though, I know it helped Schneider take fresher tires at the end, but if we didn't have any more cautions after what could have been the final pit stops of the race, going to the green with 35 to go, would they have made it? I don't know if they would have, but the 2 cautions we've had since then have definitely helped these guys make it to the end on their tires. White flag in the air, 1 lap to go now for Michael Annett. Final lap of the race. There's a 2.5 seconds now behind Ray Black Jr. in the 0-7, but he's likely not going to catch him. He's pulled away from both Alex Lede and Jeffrey Earnhardt. Off turn 2 now for Michael Annett. Can he hold off Austin Cindric, who's been close now in the first 3 races, but cannot pull off the victory? And Annett trying to go to victory lane for just the 2nd time in his NASCAR Xfinity Series career. And it'll be the first win from Junior Motorsports in the first 3 races of the year. 3 different organizations and 3 different manufacturers. Got to go to victory lane in the first 3 races. 3 different winners. Checker flag in the air. Michael Annett will win at the Auto Club Speedway. Schneider with a good top 10 run in his 3rd career race. 2 top 10s in his first 3 career races. Huge improvements from the Vegas race last night. That was a thrill. That was a thrill just to wheel this thing to a top 10. Strategy was definitely in play, but that was on purpose, though. We were able to save our tires better than anybody else did, which you usually don't see that. I usually, burn the tires off more than anybody else, but in today's race, everybody else seemed to burn their tires more than us. A lot of it was probably because we were shorter, did not have the shorter run speed, but man, it was nice. So Michael Annett with the win, again, his first of the year, 3 different winners in the first 3 races, so we already only have 9 spots open for the playoffs. Again, we might have to get that win to assure ourselves, maybe even 2 wins to assure ourselves this season. Austin Cindric finishes 2nd, Riley Herbst 3rd. Cindric came close to winning both the race and Stage 2, and just got past late. You saw right there, 0.2 of a second was all the difference between him and Annett at the finish. So 6 playoff points for Annett today. And Riley Herbst got his first stage win of the year as well. Finished 3rd. Great run for him. Harrison Burton 4th. Anthony Alfredo led laps today. He rounds out the top 5. Brandon Jones with a great start to the season, finishing 6th. Jones is now finished in the top 6 in the first 3 races. Chase Briscoe, our winner in last night's race at Vegas, finishes Schneider rounds out the top 10. 2 top 10s in the first 3 races, honestly, for this team. That is solid. 18 drivers finished on the lead lap. We had 5 cautions for incident in today's race and 3 DNFs. Joe Graff Jr., Noah Gragson, and Matt Mills all failed to finish. $97,393. That's also what helps out with the good finish. And we're up to 15th in points. Still no stage points. That's costing us, but I don't think it's really going to be very possible. We just got to play the strategy for the race finish for the first 10 races or so this season. Yeah, 3 different winners, first 3 races. Look at all the stage winners, too. I don't think we've had one driver win more than one stage this year. McLaughlin won a stage at Daytona. We've had 6 stages, and I think we've had 6 different stage winners, too. Herbst, Haley, Chastain, Jones, and Annette all won a stage, too, so crazy. And the most laps were led by Annette today, 75 of the 150 laps led. He led half the race. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And as usual with these career mode races, we take a look at the shop. See what we can do leading up into the next race when we go to Phoenix tomorrow night. $181,659, and we need 2 top 25s in the next 2 races. Moderate driving. We had very little contact today, outside of the bump draft, and we're not counting that as contact. Incidental contact. And we survived one race or another. I will be doing another race tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but it won't be for the career mode. It'll be a Cup Series full race live stream with the custom schedule season. Does the game have winning scenes if you win races? Yes, it does. Yep, it shows you in victory lane. It's actually the same transition that they've had from the NASCAR Heat Evolution game 5 years ago, but they do still have the same thing. All right, on to the shop. To get a short track chassis, we need $687,000. We're still a ways away from that. And to upgrade the engine to an 85, well, we can do that now, and that's what we're going to do. 85 on the engine. It is now upgraded. We can't do anything else. So that looks like it's going to be it. What we can do is use our Super Speedway chassis for Phoenix. So our Speedway chassis is ready to go for Atlanta. So we're going to have an 85 on the engine power, 79 and a 78. Problem is we're going to have a mismatch penalty, so we'll see what that is here in a little bit. But that's going to be our work plan. And then for Atlanta, we'll have an 85, 80, and an 80. So that'll be the fastest car we've ever brought to the track. And Atlanta was the site of our first career Truck Series win. We had a 90 overall car. We'll have about an 82 or an 83 overall car for the Xfinity Series. But maybe we can have the same thing. Who knows? Atlanta's probably my best track in the NASCAR Heat series of games. So I have some high hopes. Well, the problem is with Phoenix is we don't have a short track chassis. So yes, we're going to be using the Super Speedway chassis, which shows 85, 79, 78, but we're going to have a mismatch penalty. So we're actually going to be 79, 75, and 74. So we're going to have a much slower car than what we did at Fontana, where we finished 10th. And even slower car than what we had at Vegas or Daytona. So this is going to be our slowest car we've had so far this season. Well, I guess Daytona, we had a 75 overall car. But again, Daytona or in Talladega, if you could just stay in the draft, you know, you still have a chance of winning. That's why we finished 6th. But we stayed out of trouble. We didn't get involved in the big ones. So that was good. Yeah, we still have about 5 races till Talladega. So we'll easily get the Super Speedway chassis built back up again. All right. So yeah, that is what we're going to be going with. What's better, buying NASCAR Heat 5 now or wait till the next? I would wait till the next NASCAR game. If you even have NASCAR Heat 4, I think NASCAR Heat 4 is a little bit better of a game than Heat 5, but Heat 5's obviously got the newer drivers and newer tracks to the schedule as well. Indy Road Course, some of the other ones as well. It also has custom schedule season, so there's more features in Heat 5 than what there is in Heat 4, but as far as the actual gameplay, it's less buggy in Heat 4. I think Heat 4 is a little bit better in that aspect, but yep, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight, Canadian Tire Motorsports Park will go road course racing for the NASCAR Cup Series. The Cup Series, why do you ask? It's on the custom schedule season mode that we have going on, quoted as the craziest custom schedule season so far. Canadian Tire Motorsports Park is not an actual track on the Cup Series. It's actually on the Truck Series, so it'll be the first race ever for the Cup Series there. And again, that's all at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in about another hour right here on the channel. Another live stream with a realistic broadcast. 80 laps of racing there. Should be a lot of fun. Again, thanks for everybody watching here tonight. Like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. I'll see you guys in a little bit later.